India under attack by Khalistani thugs. Funded by ISI, Khalis thugs on rampage. From London to San Francisco, Khalis thugs attack India. Peanuts from Pakistan, Khalistanis hit our embassies. Will united India smash these Khalis thugs? The big focus on 5 Live. Great to have you back with me here on 5 Live. I'm Shiv Aroor. Let's get you straight to the top stories we're tracking. Hunt for fugitive Amritpal Singh continues. News tightens around the Khalistani ideologue as his uncle and driver surrender. NSA invoked against Amritpal's uncle. Big political showdown over Rahul Gandhi's London remarks. Peak in Parliament. Another day of non-stop disruptions in both houses as BJP demands Rahul's apology. Opposition hits back with Modi-Adani slogans. Japan Prime Minister Kishida and Prime Minister Modi hold bilateral talks. Japan Prime Minister invites Prime Minister Modi for the G7 summit to boost ties in defense and trade. Superstar Salman Khan gets fresh threat after gangster Lawrence Bishnoi Goldie Brar threatens Salman. Massive security at Salman's house after the threat email. Russia and China versus the West. Xi Jinping in Russia after ICC's arrest warrant against Putin for war crimes. Big message to the West weeks after Biden's Ukraine visit. Let's be absolutely clear, viewer. India stands completely united against these so-called Khalistani thugs who are attacking our embassies from London to San Francisco to Canberra in Australia. These are a handful of Pakistan-funded organizations who like to think of themselves as influential when they are nothing more than a bunch of street thugs who are only capable of strength in small numbers and attacking unarmed buildings like India's embassies. The fact is, what these Khalistanis have done is attempt to show that they are an influential force, that they are having an effect on India, that they threaten India when they are anything but. On the other hand, we cannot take our eye off these forces because they are well funded and could plan something dangerous as they have in the past. Take a look at this fresh spate of attacks.
Khalistani hate against India is surging globally. They went on a rampage in London and San Francisco. The Khalistanis vandalized the Indian High Commission in the British capital and pulled down the tricolour on Sunday. The attackers threatened Indian staff at the mission.
The Indian High Commission, as I would like to show you, look at the windows out here, and I will take you further down and see and look at the kind of vandalism that has taken place. The windows have been attacked, and actually these are quite sturdy. A window, and this is not one. There are many in one after the other that was attacked. The flag was taken down and 2 security personnel really scuffled with the people who were sort of protesting, so to say, suddenly turned up on the 19th of March. And the personnel were hurt a little bit, injured, but not enough to be hospitalized.
In San Francisco, the Khalistanis attacked the Indian consulate after officials removed Khalistani flags from the property. They even painted "Free Amritpal" messages on the consulate building, condemning the police crackdown on against fugitive Khalistani leader Amritpal Singh in Punjab. Khalistani supporters also demonstrated outside the Australian Parliament in Canberra and the Indian consulate in New York City, demanding a clean slate for Amritpal. India has called out the UK government's indifference to the security of Indian diplomats and personnel, calling it unacceptable. New Delhi summoned British envoy and lodged strong protest. India has demanded an explanation for the absence of security at High Commission premises. Parties cutting across political lines having condemned the Khalistani attacks.
जो इस प्रकार के आतंकवादी लोग हैं जो चाहते हैं कि भारत को बदनाम किया जाए, भारत के और ऐसे लोग जो आतंकवादी को सह देने वाले लोग हैं, आज इनको समझना चाहिए। लेकिन इस प्रकार से चाहे पाकिस्तान हो, खालिस्तान हो, ये खालिस्तान पाकिस्तान नहीं, अब तो रहेगा हिंदुस्तान।
70 साल से इस देश का पेट भरने का काम पंजाब के किसान करते हैं। कभी किसानी आंदोलन में बैठा के आप उनको उधर एंटी नेशनल पेंट करते हैं, और अब ये सारी चीजें करके जब इसका रिएक्शन बाहर आएगा तो आप वहां एंटी नेशनल पेंट करेंगे। ये बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा।
It's utterly shocking that this was allowed to happen. First of all, the fact is that the real problem is not inside the High Commission but in the premises outside, which is the responsibility of the local authorities, in this case the British authorities, to protect. If the British police are completely derelict in their duty and they allow this nonsense to happen, you can see the video. There are a rabble of a dozen fellows shouting slogans. One chap climbs up, pulls down our national flag. This is a major insult which we cannot tolerate.
The pro-Khalistani toolkit seems to be emerging, with Canadian MPs and leaders tweeting the same words about the security clampdown in Punjab. While the manhunt for Amritpal seems to have spiked, the Khalistani attacks globally, recurring incidents of the hate against Indians have been on the rise for quite some time now. With Lavina Tandon in London, Bureau Report, India Today.
I want to quickly go across first to India Today's Lavina Tandon. She's been live from London, from outside the Indian embassy there as well, taking us through every part of the investigation and follow-up action that has taken place so far. Lavina, the first question that everybody wants answered, what action has been taken? Have any of those people who indulged in that action of pulling down the Indian flag at the embassy, have any of them been arrested?
Yes, one person has been detained, Shiv, and the inquiry continues as the Met Police has updated us. I did, though, ask them and have asked them about all the other inquiries that were going on before this incident, because this is one incident. Before this, 2 or 3 more incidents have happened, and this has recurred over a period of time, only intensified this time, Shiv. And as we know, before, when these incidents happen, some people have been detained, but they have been left after questioning. The question now remains, what happens to this one person who has been detained? Because this is a step too far. Last time eggs were thrown, but now the 3 big windows of outside the High Commission are quite brutally battered. They are strong windows, and we can see the real impact of it as we speak. And also the point is, will this person who is detained be charged? What action is going to be taken? Because no action was taken before, which was concrete enough to deter these people to come out again, get on the balcony, many steps ahead of what had happened before, not only bring the flag down, also vandalize the building. So this definitely is criminal, and one awaits what more will be done with this person, for one person or many more that one hopes they will.
And Lavina, as you've been reporting over the years, this isn't the first time that the Indian embassy has come under attack in London. There have been past instances as well. What's the mood inside the embassy? Have you been able to speak to anyone? What's the sentiment inside? Because this was pretty scary.
Thankfully, there was no one present inside, not officials, many officials inside, it being Sunday, but very brave on the security people who are from the force, who came out and scuffled with these bunch of people, thugs and hooligans, and took the flag back and instantly reinstalled it, even while the police was coming and these people dispersed. So this was quite coolly planned, because they just planned it for a very quick half an hour. When they will come, one person goes up. Even before the police came, this person was up and the flag was down. So having said that, answering your question, Shiv, it is an absolutely disgusting act. Of course, people feel insecure, but not scared, of course. But the question lies, are these diplomats safe here? Can UK, who prides itself to be oldest democracy, and prides itself to have good law and order, would be able to enforce that law and order? And as you said, this has not only happened for the first time with HCI, but also with the people, with reporters like me who have come out and wanting to report on this issue, have been completely harassed and intimidated. I have lodged 5 complaints before with Metropolitan Police, and no result has come of that. And it's really high time, and patience is running out.
The only channel reporting from right outside the Indian embassy there in London, and we will continue to report everything that's happening. Now, I want to take you across to a special guest who joins me live from New York City. Puneet Sahni is an expert on the evolution of Sikh identity. He's also writing a book that's going to be coming up very soon, which involves some facets of Khalistani terrorism, which is something that Puneet is very familiar with, because he's actually faced direct death threats from Khalistanis in the United States against him. So, Puneet, good to have you with us. I know you've been, having your say about what's been happening in San Francisco, in London, in Canberra as well. What did you make of this current spate of incidents where you've had these Khalistani thugs attack Indian consulates and embassies, Puneet?
Jana Bharti, Shiv, thank you very much for inviting me. So, again, I'll go to a more fundamental question. I'm a student of history, right?
Yes.
And for me, history is not like, like what color, or like what car they were driving or what color of shoes they were wearing. History is like what happened under what incentive and constraints. So for you people, not for you in general, but it might be surprising this is happening because TV is coming. But actually, if you go in 80s in Canada, like they basically, right now what this madam is showing in UK, they attacked it on a holiday. Like she said, there was nobody inside. But I can show you visuals. In 1980s, for example, they used to bully the Indian embassy so much. In Canada, for example, that they, threw eggs. And he had to run, take the chor darwaza, take the back door and run away. So we have actually already faced this. We are the biggest victims of terrorism, and we just have to look what worked and what doesn't work. So again, like for example, Canada. Canada is like the America lost the war here because, this Pakistan gave a safe corridor. So this UK to a smaller extent, but Canada to the larger extent is this, and they are creating all this nonsense. And we have to basically do something very simple. What Gill Saab used to say is basically what deterrent are you setting on the criminals? Yeah. So the Canadian government is not involved, not cared because, you don't matter. Okay, you have an audience, you can raise a noise. How is Canadian government affected by what you're doing? Actually, Khalistanis have infiltrated every institution there. So you have to basically inflict a cost. So, we have like high commissioner level relationships. We don't get anything from Canada. We were giving them vaccines and these thankless people. So degrade it. I'm just giving you one example. Make it to charge the affairs level. Like what has the Indian government done? You can say, okay, we are patriots and we are Hindus and we are victims and okay, fine. Nobody cares. The world works by, what you say, like what are the costs and what are the incentives? So these are terrorists. What costs are you ready to inflict? Imposing on these countries that are supporting terrorism.
Who's funding all of this, Puneet? This, because obviously the clearest thing that appears to everyone is that this is organized. These can't be spontaneous acts by 3 separate groups in 3 different cities in the world. Obviously, it's organized. My question to you is, since you've been looking at it very closely for many years, Who's funding all of this? Who's organizing? Who's the puppet master? Is it Pakistan? Is it some groups in Canada? Who's doing this?
No, there are, like, of course. So you see, there are many, variables, right? So of course, this is one variable. So for example, and there is evidence. It's not just like Punisani sitting in New York in morning because this is what he feels like.
Yeah.
So for example, if you see this protest, like what this, they take this Khalistan protest. No, you would see so many, I don't know, Shiv, I think you're married to a Punjabi. I don't know if you're Punjabi yourself. So, the Pakistanis also speak Punjabi, for example. But, there are some words that we don't use. For example, we never use the word salan for sabzi.
Right.
This is a giveaway. If somebody is using the word salan for sabzi, it means he's a Pakistani. Right. So you see this Pakistanis, all this in rallies, like I can show you in Switzerland and Germany. Now they are speaking Pakistani Punjabi. They are not speaking our Punjabi. Now, if you see this clown show, like this, this Six for Justice and all this nonsense. So, like a show like you, like they are taking, like, for example, Geo News. Geo News is like kind of like your news in India, like a very big platform in Pakistan. So there is Murtasa Ali, there is nothing. They are going and interviewing all these people and giving them like prime time and making this show. So, of course, Pakistan is involved. But that is, of course, one thing. There is others. Like there's radicalization happening in Gurdwaras. And in the universities. So, like, in orientation seminars, they put one picture of, I'll tweet it today. I'll show you, like, the kids, because the government doesn't do anything. So they are reaching out to me. When the college started recently, you'll be shocked. The kind of blasphemy they do. They are orienting kids in universities in Canada. First, they put a picture with Guru Gobind Singh and his sons, and then they put Bhindranwala and him surrounded by terrorists. So basically, Bhindranwala is Guru Gobind Singh, and all his
unbelievable
are Sahibzade. This is, they are orienting in universities of Canada, like this is Sikhism.
And they've infiltrated every level.
The
You're saying that over the years they've infiltrated every level. We're seeing crowds of these Khalistanis, many of whom are Indian students studying in Australia. In Canada, they've infiltrated all levels of government and the administration. What about the United States? What about, India and the US, for instance, and India and the UK have very close relations. How does one impose costs in such relations, Puneet?
No, of course, people are like
Puneet, there's a bit of an audio problem. If you can hear me, and just repeat your answer once again. Let's just see if we can hear Puneet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you an example. So, for example, when Canada in 1985 they bomb blasted,
Tanishka Airlines.
Air India Airlines,
Tanishka,
right?
Yeah.
Right. And Canada failed to, get convictions. So they killed the witnesses. They made a joke of it. And you see what is happening in Canada. Canada is basically like what Pakistan is for Taliban. Canada is for Khalistanis. In the same time, I'd say in around 1986, there was a guy, you note the name. Nobody knows about it, but if you Google, you'll get it. His name was Gurpratap Singh Birk.
Right.
And what he was trying to do was kill Rajiv Gandhi when he was visiting United States. This is, I think, 1985-96, same period. And in New York, where I'm living. And the FBI, he was just discussing this. So, FBI basically trapped him and sent him to a long jail. Nothing happened in US. So the Khalistanis understand, we have all the freedoms of Canada and probably more. But the Americans inflicted the cost on Khalistanis. And there was almost nothing here. So the thing is, we just have to make this case like these people. We have done such a terrible job that these Khalistanis are not a threat to the Sikhs or the Punjabis or India. But they are a threat to their own people. And Shiv, I'll give you one example. I know, I also have to run. But let me give you a very recent example.
Yes.
In mid-80s, there was a preacher from Punjab. And, he was saying, we are not for Khalistan. We believe in Hindu-Sikh brotherhood. And this is all nonsense. And there was one person, his name was Rajinder Singh Bhatt. Rajinder Singh Bhatt, right? If you Google, you'll find him.
Okay.
He killed that preacher. And if you read India Today, what they're writing, the judgment comes, this man was a man of peace and he was killed by a terrorist. They sent this guy for prison for 35 years, right? After 35 years, when this guy is released, the Canadians and the UK Khalistanis, they start celebrating him, like Bhai Rajinder Singh, he sacrificed for the nation. Then SGPC started doing this.
Familiar pattern.
And they started, right. And they started attacking, at that time she was a very competent Home Secretary of the United Kingdom, Miss Priti Patel. That Mrs. Priti Patel is against these Khalistanis and all this nonsense. And when I came, I was like, she's absolutely right. This is what Khalistanis have done. And these people who are attacking Mrs. Priti Patel, you are celebrating this guy whose only achievement is life, that he has murdered somebody for preaching peace. All of them ran away. All of them ran away. SGPC, I'll send you a link to this. So the thing is, Indian government just keeps sleeping. They have done nothing.
Okay, I got what you're saying, Puneet. We're out of time, but I hear what you're saying. The point is that if you don't impose costs, it emboldens such groups and they will do more and more because you're giving them more and more space. If they have the audacity to attack your embassy and there is no pushback, no costs imposed against them, against the countries sponsoring them, against the countries that should be protecting these embassies, then you are a soft state and a soft power. Puneet, really a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you very much. Stay safe. I know that Khalistanis have been baying for your blood for many years as well. We've got some breaking news coming in now. And India's External Affairs Ministry has just issued a statement. It's a response to it that's been put out to what happened in London. UK's Deputy High Commissioner was summoned demanding an explanation, was asked for the perpetrators to be quickly arrested and prosecuted. We lodged a strong protest and asked the British authorities to put up adequate security at our High Commission in the United Kingdom. That's the official statement there from the Indian External Affairs Ministry. And we've got more information trickling in right now. The United Kingdom has responded. It has assured India of action. The UK will take the security of the Indian High Commission here seriously. Top British officials said today after Scotland Yard, that's the police there, arrested one person in connection with completely unacceptable vandalism at the High Commission by Khalistan supporters. Foreign Office Minister Lord Tariq Ahmed tweeted soon after the attack to say that he was appalled and that the British government would always take security at the mission seriously. He also said this is a completely unacceptable action against the integrity of the mission and its staff. The UK government will always take the security of the Indian High Commission seriously. The British High Commissioner to India, Alex Ellis, has described the incident as disgraceful and totally unacceptable. Only one person has been arrested so far. I want to get a quick word in from Lavina once again on this because the investigation is going to have to move much faster given the huge amount of diplomatic pressure that's already been brought to bear. Lavina, one person has been arrested. Do we have a sense of how many people are being hunted by the police there in London or beyond by now?
Police has not confirmed any number, Shiv. One person is what they have confirmed that they have detained and the inquiries still continue. But one hopes that more action is taken. Condemnation is coming from, as you read, from all quarters, including Sadiq Khan as well, who is the Mayor of London and also in charge of under whom the police is and the Home Office. So all of them have condemned, but of course action is what we say is awaited, that to concrete action, because detaining is good, but action is what is required. In front of the High Commission, there is a strong police presence, of course, this being Monday, it's being people who are coming now, and it is a working day, so there is police presence. It remains to be seen how long they will be there and if more will be detained. Shiv.
Okay, Lavina, thanks very much for that comprehensive update from right outside where all of this happened on Sunday. We'll be tracking this closely. It continues to be our #1 story this Monday and will be right through this week. Those pictures of those Khalistani thugs vandalizing the Indian embassy in London have triggered us all. How dare they, and how dare the London police permit this to happen to the Indian embassy? It's literally their job to prevent such actions, right? What if those thugs were carrying bombs or firearms? Imagine if they had gotten into our embassy and threatened the lives of our mission staff, even if it was a Sunday. The British ambassador to India has condemned the incident in no uncertain terms. Good on him. Now, if you've been listening carefully, you may have noticed that I referred to it as the Indian Embassy instead of the Indian High Commission, and British Ambassador instead of British High Commissioner. I did that for a reason. I've been a sustained advocate for India leaving the so-called Commonwealth of Nations for years now. As a rising power that has recently been shaking off many of our earlier colonial trappings, from road names to military ranks, I've always believed it's important for India to go the distance, not with any drama, but with the assured confidence of a nation whose century has truly come. You see, the Commonwealth is all about symbols and symbolism, and to me, there can be no greater symbolic case for us departing the Commonwealth than the images that have been viral from the Indian Embassy in London. I would understand if the Commonwealth afforded India certain national security privileges. What happened at our embassy in London demonstrates that it most definitely does not. Not only has Britain failed in its basic policing duty to stop Khalistani thugs to attack our embassy, it has reminded India and the world about the sustained safe haven that Britain has provided to separatist and anti-India forces, even if it's a bunch of street thugs with no greater incentive than food packets from a Pakistan-funded organization. But there's a difference between a safe haven and standing back while our embassy was attacked in the manner that it was. They say the Commonwealth is about symbols. Well, I say any remaining symbols died the moment those thugs pulled the Indian flag down from our embassy. And don't mistake any of my words for sentimentalism. This isn't just about the flag. This is about what Britain's shocking act of omission and commission means for this relationship, for how India is regarded, and our increasingly indefensible continuation in this so-called Commonwealth. I say, it's time.
in the last 1 साल में काफी कुछ हमारा bilateral.
And we've got breaking images just coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with his Japanese counterpart, they've just held extensive talks. Fumio Kishida is the Japanese Prime Minister who arrived yesterday. Both leaders have held that expansion of ties is important for a peaceful, stable and prosperous Indo-Pacific, besides benefiting the two countries in diverse areas. Remember, under Prime Minister Modi, Indo-Japanese ties have expanded and escalated in a very, very positive manner. Kishida says he has formally invited Prime Minister Modi for the G7 summit in Tokyo in May, and that his Indian counterpart has accepted that invitation. In a statement, Prime Minister Modi referred to India's presidency of the G20 and Japan chairing the G7 grouping and said it was the best opportunity to work together on priorities of both sides for global good. Two major democracies, two ancient civilizations, two countries that have shared a strong political, economic and cultural bond over decades and centuries. A relationship that has been marked by personal bonhomie between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Kishida's predecessor Shinzo Abe is something that clearly is being seen to be carried forward now. The Modi-Kishida bonhomie on full display at the Buddha Jayanti Park in India's national capital.
देखिए इस बार का जो हमारा प्रेस स्टेटमेंट
The Buddha Jayanti Park is an important location in the national capital, and emphasizing and underscoring cultural ties between the two countries are the prime ministers of the two nations walking side by side, having a chat, and this is after the much more serious business of ties between the two countries. The optics you see here very much in keeping with the relationship that Prime Minister Modi has made it a point to nurture from the get-go, immediately after he took over as Prime Minister, along with his then counterpart, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who tragically was killed by a shooter last year. Prime Minister Modi has sought to develop and escalate this relationship between the two countries. We're slipping into a very short break. We'll be back with much more. Stay with us.
Bollywood actor Salman Khan is once again on the receiving end of a threat email. After the infamous threat letter which said, "Tera muh se wala kar denge." Fresh gang threat to the superstar. Months after the actor was issued a gun license for self-protection after death threats from the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, a close associate of the actor, Prashant Kunjalkar, received a fresh threat email from the gangsters. The threat mail sent on Saturday afternoon to the actor's office was from one Rohit Garg. Referring to a recent interview of Lawrence Bishnoi, where he said that killing Salman Khan was goal of his life, the email mentioned that the gangster Goldie Brar wanted to meet Salman and talk in person. An FIR has also been lodged in the matter against gangster Lawrence Bishnoi, Goldie Brar, as well as Rohit Garg at Mumbai's Bandra police station. Meanwhile, the security outside Salman Khan's residence has been beefed up in the wake of fresh threats. Salman has been on the radar of the Bishnoi gang for long for allegedly poaching protected black bucks, revered by the Bishnoi community. In 2018, Bishnoi threatened Salman over the 1998 black buck killing case in Rajasthan.
जब हम करेंगे तो पता लग ही जाएगा. सलमान खान का करेंगे, मारेंगे ही जाएंगे. जोधपुर में मारेंगे तो पता लग जाएगा इनको. अभी तो मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं, अभी नहीं मतलब कि इन्वॉल्व कर रहे हैं. जब हम करेंगे तो पता लग ही जाएगा. सलमान खान का करेंगे, मारेंगे ही जाएंगे. जोधपुर में मारेंगे तो पता लग जाएगा इनको. अभी तो मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं, अभी नहीं मतलब कि इन्वॉल्व कर रहे हैं.
Gangster Lawrence Bishnoi is currently lodged at Punjab's Bhatinda Central Jail for allegedly orchestrating the murder of singer Sidhu Moosewala. With Arvind Oja and Devesh Singh and Mustafa Sheikh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
The FDCI Lakme Fashion Week in Mumbai wound up with the stands packed to the rafters. Zenith Aman turns showstopper for Shaheen Manan.
It's a full circle moment for me because I started my career as a young model, and to be walking the ramp as a septuagenarian, it's wonderful.
Malaika Arora for Bhumika Sharma. Taapsee Pannu for Monisha Jaisingh. And Sushmita Sen for Anushri Reddy. Sara Ali Khan turned showstopper for Puneet Balana. Actors Kalki, Shilpa Shetty, Shani Gupta, Diana Penty, Shobhita Dhulipala turned showstoppers as well. Sustainable Fashion Day included shows by Vaishali Shadangule, who brought the ocean to life with her designs, and Gaurav Jay Gupta, who showcased his latest collection. Khadi India presented 4 labels: Suket Dheer, Shruti Sancheti, Divyam Mehta, and Centre for Excellence for Khadi, or COEK, who showcase reiterated the commitment to sustainability in fashion with charkhas and sets that showcase the pride of Indian textiles and weaves. Reds and drapes set the luxury pred trends with Tarun Tahilyani's showcase, with Shobhita Dhulipala turning muse for Tahilyani. JJ Valaya showcase got inspired by the travelogues of Maharaja Jagjit Singh of Kapurthala, with Rashmika Mandana turning muse for the designer. The FDCI X Lakme Fashion Week wound up with a grand finale showcase by designer Manish Malhotra, with Siddharth Roy Kapoor and Ananya Pandey as the showstoppers.
Rahul Gandhi's remarks on China and its harmonious growth while he was in the United Kingdom have drawn very sharp criticism from central ministers, most of them speaking at the India Today conclave over the weekend. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar was unusually acerbic. Speaking at the conclave, he tore into the Congress MP over his admiration for the hostile neighbor. Take a look at this detailed report.
I am troubled as a citizen of India when I see somebody drooling over China and being dismissive about India.
That was just an appetizer from India's External Affairs Minister, who's been under direct attack from Congress MP Rahul Gandhi. The counter-strike provoked by these words delivered in the United Kingdom earlier this month.
The infrastructure that you see in China, the railways, the airports, the dams, they are actually, in the Chinese mind, they are emerging from nature. They're emerging from the power of the river, whereas the West, America, does not see itself as embedded in nature. It sees itself as placed on top of nature. Okay? Now this completely changes how you think about things. And this explains, to me at least, why the Chinese would be so interested in harmony.
Rahul Gandhi's admiration for China, coupled with this offensive on the Modi government, opened him to an unusually cutting Jaishankar at the India Today conclave.
He puts his description suo moto of China in that Cambridge talk. You know what's the word which comes to his mind when he talks of China? Harmony. His one-word description of China is harmony. His one-word description of India is discord.
The soft-spoken External Affairs Minister choosing to make a meal of Rahul's persistent suggestion that India is afraid of China.
He talks about connectivity. He speaks admiringly in the same talk. He's spoken about the Belt and Road. He compares, very poetically I must say, he compares Belt and Road like the Yellow River in China gushing forth. Guys, the Belt and Road goes through POK. It violates our national integrity and sovereignty. He doesn't have a word to say about it.
As Rahul battles the fallout of the sweeping attacks on foreign soil, he was targeted at the India Today conclave by one of the world's foremost Western experts in China.
It's very scary, if I could use that word, to see Rahul Gandhi's comments about China. We have a few people in America who think the way Rahul Gandhi apparently thinks about China, that harmony is the key feature of that country. Almost all those people, the old panda huggers, they have changed their minds. They have come alive. They realize there's a global challenge from China.
Beyond the conclave, Rahul's praise of China's controversial Belt and Road initiative also opened him to this attack by another Team Modi member, the angry Harpreet.
One of the things which he is fascinated by is the BRI, the Belt Road Initiative of China, and he hails that as a visionary, step. Does he realize that this BRI process here goes through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is CPEC, which is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir? Does he realize that? That is Indian. I mean, if he aspires to leadership in India, he should at least know what is Indian territory.
The question is, on a sensitive and shape-shifting international issue, has Rahul walked into a bear trap, giving his target a fulsome opportunity to strike back? Bureau Report, India Today.
So this started at the India Today conclave over the weekend, but obviously it has spilled over into the political space with more ministers now piling on that attack on Rahul Gandhi over his remarks made in the United Kingdom praising China. Joining me live, Shama Mohammed of the Congress Party, R.P. Singh of the BJP. Welcome to you both. Thanks for tuning in. Shama, to you first. To give you a chance to respond to what Dr. S. Jaishankar, Michael Pillsbury and Hardeep Puri have said. Principally, to quote what Jaishankar said, he said, Rahul Gandhi has basically been drooling over China while being dismissive about India. He also obliquely labels Rahul Gandhi as a panda hugger who now wants to sound like a China hawk. Shama, to you first.
Shiv, Aroor, I have huge respect for you as a journalist and anchor. I just want to ask you a question. Why are you not doing a debate on the attack of the judiciary by the law minister? He said certain judges are anti-nationals.
Shama, we've been through this before.
No, that's very important. He's attacking the democratic
I don't edit or order, what your day plan is, what debates you attend, what internal discussions you have in your meetings. I'd like to point out to you that the law minister, the Chief Justice of India, all of those things happened on our platform, not somebody else's. Our platform, we've shown those live, we've debated those things. It's a big story here. This particular debate between 5:30 and 6 p.m. is on the remarks about Rahul Gandhi. It does not mean that we are not debating that issue elsewhere.
But I did not see any debate on any channels. It is right, it was said on the India Today conclave, but there has been no debate on any channels regarding what the law minister said. Anyway, having said that, I'm coming into the topic of the day. Now, what is the credibility of this man called Jaishankar? That is what we first have to look into. This man has been talking all the time. This is the man who said, we cannot fight against China because we are a small nation.
That's not what he said.
Doesn't he have shame?
That's not what he said.
Now, let's understand
to the language used by
RP Singh, no speaking over Shama. No speaking over Shama, I will come to you. Let her get her chance, then you can respond. You can respond once she's done. Please, no over-talking each other. Yes, Shama.
Thank you, Shiv. Thanks a lot. Now, before 2014, this man was what? He was not a nobody. He was the ambassador to the United States. He was the ambassador to China. He was the ambassador to Singapore. So he was one of the arms implementing the foreign policy. He was, he was there. He was right there. And then he keeps giving out these statements. I want to ask him, if he was not happy with the government before 2014 when we was working under it, he should have said these policies are not right.
But he's not said anything about earlier governments.
He should have stood up. No, he has been, let me finish, Shiv. Let me finish and then you interrupt me. No, he should have stood up against the government before 2014. Now,
but he's never criticized the government before 2014.
Of course, he's criticized the government before 2014.
He's not said.
He said, I will tell you what he said. Let me tell you, I know very well. Shiv, I come with facts.
I have it in front of me.
Come and say hearsay. He said the India-US relationship was not a great one. Now, I'm going to remind him, the India-US civil nuclear deal happened in 2008. George Bush as well as Mr. Obama had huge respect for Manmohan Singh. He keeps saying we have a good relationship with the United States post-2014. I want to ask him, what is that? What have we got from the United States? I don't want to see what we gave them in terms of trade. What have we got from them? And let me make one thing very clear. What is foreign policy? Foreign policy is something which goes from one government to the other. We do not, it's not about a party. Now, let me finish. In 1990, when in the UNHCR, when the Pakistan government went to UNHCR.
Shama, you've not answered my question. You're firing like a shotgun. You've made it personal about Jaishankar. You've made it personal about Jaishankar, about his efficacy as a foreign minister, but you're not answering the question. I asked you a very specific question to respond about what Jaishankar had said about Rahul Gandhi, because he didn't start it.
I'm just give me 1 second and answer that. In 1990, when Pakistan went to
that doesn't answer my question.
Against the human rights in Kashmir, who did Narasimha Rao send to the United Nations? He sent Vajpayee, and Vajpayee defended very well.
Doesn't answer my question. You're trying to discredit. You're trying to discredit a foreign minister who has been handpicked. You're saying he's just an ambassador. How can he be the foreign minister? It looks like the Congress has taken this very personally when this appears to be
the man is credible.
Okay. RP Singh, how would you respond to this? The Congress is basically saying, "Ye kaun hota hai Rahul Singh ko panda hugger bolna."
I'm saying the man is not credible. See, when he told
that's what you're saying. You're saying he's not credible. Therefore, ye kaun hota hai? Dr. Jaishankar kaun hai? He's a nobody. He's just an ambassador.
Sorry, are you asking me the question?
RP Singh, to you first now.
He's the one who said no.
Thank you, Shiv.
Fight against
first,
China.
you understand.
He didn't say that. I'm telling you again, that's not what he said. That's become one of the most common things that the Congress has been saying. I have heard that entire statement completely threadbare. At no point did he say India can't, now India can't go up against China because they're a bigger economy. He meant it in terms of unilateral action.
Yeah, so then how can you misinterpret Rahul Gandhi's statement? If you're defending him, Shivaru, shame on you.
Because he said harmony. How can you use the word harmony for China? No, I'm sorry. Two different things. There are two different things. Anyway, we're not here to debate. We're not here to debate or decode what Rahul Gandhi said. I just wanted a response to what Dr. Jaishankar said. I am not on either person's side here. The reason it's become an issue is because it has stalled Parliament. Apologies are being sought by the ruling party, which I believe is a separate issue altogether, and we've been debating that. But RP Singh, have your say, then I'll go back to Shama.
Thank you, Shiv. This clearly shows how a lady who represents a dynasty, 50-year-old adolescent who doesn't know what to say.
Let's not get personal. Let's not get personal.
He put his foot in his mouth. And no. Oh, sir, Shiv, you didn't stop her. What she did?
I did. I told her not to get personal as well.
I said.
Both of you are honorable people. So, let's just not get personal, please.
No. No, I'm not I'm not personal with her. I mean, I'm just saying I'm defining what Rahul Gandhi is. He is a 52-year-old adolescent. What's wrong in it? I stand by
Get
what
to the
I'm
issue,
saying.
substantive
They can drag
issue.
me to the court for this, and I'll prove this in the court that he is a 52-year-old adolescent. वो 52 साल का बच्चा है.
Not required,
उसमें क्या
sir.
शक है? जो
This is
हर
all
बार
not
बोलता है,
required.
अपना
No,
पैर
no.
मुंह में डालता है. हिंदी में बोल देता हूँ.
Not required. This is. Let me say very honestly here. Let's have a political discussion, substantive issue. You know, all this stuff can. You know, there's enough of this stuff on social media. यहाँ पे let us discuss substantively, because the foreign minister has gone against Rahul Gandhi and said he's drooling over China. And that, he's basically a panda hugger. He loves China, but now he wants to seem like he's against China and India-China relations. Answer on that.
Yes, so what's wrong in it? And then also, Shiv, now you understand, they say that media has no freedom in the country. They say they will decide what debate will happen on your channel, and if it's not as per their choice, then they have questions on that. I never asked you what debate. I can ask you a debate on what Rahul Gandhi said about that we are some states put together. We are union of states, and which is repeated by Amritpal Singh. The same words are repeated by Amritpal Singh. We should have debate on that. That whatever Rahul Gandhi says is repeated by Amritpal Singh. Like so,
We
Amritpal Singh
do. It's coming up at
Khalistani.
6. No, but Shama, this appears to have just.
So understand this.
Rahul Gandhi appears to have fallen into a bit of a trap. I mean, many of the things you're accusing the media of misinterpreting what he said, but the quotes of what Rahul Gandhi said in Cambridge are there for all to see. He said China is interested in harmony. How does one misinterpret something like that? That is what the foreign minister has responded to.
So I'm going to speak on that. When 20 of us
Can I complete now? Shiv, can I complete now?
The question is to me.
Let's talk about.
Let Shama just come in. I'll come back to you, Harpreet Singh.
How do Rahul Gandhi drools in front of China?
Harpreet Singh is very frustrated.
No, I'll tell you how Rahul Gandhi drools in front of China.
Let her answer, sir. Let her answer.
1.35 crore rupees. How much money have you got from that part?
Okay.
Muhammad, how much money you got?
No. Let's not make this personal. Okay, RP Singh, let Shama. We're almost out of time. Yes,
Yeah.
Shama.
So
I have enough time for one answer from both. Yes.
When 20 of our soldiers were martyred in Galwan, what did the Prime Minister of this country say? Na koi gussa hai. Nobody has entered into our territory, and
That was not in response to that.
That is definitely.
That was not in response to Galwan.
That is not misinterpreted.
You're making it sound like that was a response to the Galwan incident. That's dangerous.
You're not letting me speak, Shivarud. What I'm trying to say is that Rahul Gandhi very clearly said that I want to speak in Parliament and reply to whatever I've said in Cambridge to the Parliament, where there is so many accusations against me. But why isn't the present government not allowing him to speak? Simple. When Mr. Modi went and said it's a shame to be born in India before 2014.
Second answer from RP Singh and I'm out of time. 20 seconds. 20 seconds, RP Singh.
No. Rahul Gandhi is ready to give an explanation in Parliament.
Shiv, very state. Shama Muhammad is part of that gang which gets money from China, and that's why they drool for China. They will go to any extent. For them, China is a harmonious country. We know what China is doing to Taiwan and Mongolia. We know that, but they won't utter a word.
I'm going to.
They are on payroll.
Okay.
They are on payroll.
This has gotten too personal. This has gotten too personal. Some of the things that the External Affairs Minister has said has also triggered this and made it even more personal. So I'm not surprised by the tone and tenor of this brief face-off to Shama and RP Singh. I thank the both of you for your time. Sorry for this debate to be so short, but I think that the Rahul Gandhi issue in Parliament is going to continue to dominate the headlines, and we will, I promise you, debate every aspect of it threadbare here on India Today. And now I want to take you straight back to Prime Minister Modi and his Japanese counterpart who are enjoying golgappas during their walk in the park in Delhi. Part of their time together at the Buddha Jayanti Park in Delhi. Well, golgappas on the menu for the Indian and Japanese Prime Ministers. Enjoy these pictures. We're back in a bit.
इंडिया टुडे कॉन्क्लेव में जुड़े सभी महानुभावों को मेरा नमस्कार। देश विदेश से जो दर्शक, पाठक डिजिटल माध्यम से हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, उनका भी अभिनंदन। मुझे देखकर अच्छा लगा कि इस कॉन्क्लेव की थीम है द इंडिया मोमेंट। आज दुनिया के बड़े बड़े इकोनॉमिस्ट, एनालिस्ट, थिंकर्स सभी कहते हैं कि ये, और एक स्वर में कहते हैं, इट इज इंडियाज मोमेंट। लेकिन जब इंडिया टुडे ग्रुप ये ऑप्टिमिज्म दिखाता है तो ये एक्स्ट्रा स्पेशल है। वैसे मैंने 20 महीने पहले लाल किले से कहा था, यही समय है, सही समय है। लेकिन यहाँ पहुँचते पहुँचते 20 महीने लग गए। तब भी भावना यही थी, दिस इज इंडियाज मोमेंट। साथियों, किसी भी राष्ट्र की विकास यात्रा में अनेक उतार चढ़ाव आते रहते हैं, कई पड़ाव आते हैं। आज 21वीं सदी के इस दशक में भारत के सामने जो टाइम पीरियड आया है, ये अभूतपूर्व है। आज के कुछ दशक पहले जो देश आगे बढ़े, कई देश आगे बढ़े हैं, विकसित हुए, लेकिन उनके सामने स्थितियां बहुत अलग थी। एक तरह से उनका मुकाबला खुद से ही था, उनके सामने इतनी प्रतिस्पर्धा नहीं थी। लेकिन आज जिन परिस्थितियों में भारत आगे बढ़ रहा है, वे
As I explained, this quiet talks about a lot of unease of life. To add to that, the tedium of life, and yet us surviving and still fighting and still living and still doing the base routine that we do, and yet not leave the energy. We put the energy in the moments that we find easy or we find comfort with. I think this one is a portrayal of the fight against all these odds.
Classic contemporary minimalist maximalism, dramatic pauses. Life in haste and existentialism all came together at the Antaragni showcase by designer Ujjwal Dubey. The showcase disquiet metaphorically blended into what life is for most of us in urban metropolitan cities.
This is one of the portrayals from the current moods too. The past some time has been similar for, I think, most of us, and me particularly as well. Also, it led me to read a couple of literary artists, and I happened to go through one of the very famous literary artists called Fernando Pessoa,
Powered by घर लेना हो या बेचना 99 acres से ही पूछना।
He once dared the cops.
कोई नहीं पीछे हटा सकता, ना अमित इंदिरा हटा सकी है, ना मोदी हटा सकता, ना अमित शाह हटा सकता, ना भगवंत मान ते ना कोई होर है।
And now he cowers and hides from them. Khalistani thug Amritpal on the run. What happened to Amritpal's bravery? True nature of Amritpal on full display.